Hit it. Right. Okay.
Yep.
So we're back
On.
for a brand new episode. And
Brand new.
it's brand new. And again, Deval, listen, man, we're getting closer and closer to the
Oof.
15th. Well, actually, 10 more days, man. 15th of December is
What's that?
Spider-Man Day.
Spider-Man. Yes, Spider-Man No Way Home. Oof. No Way Home.
And listen,
No.
we've
Is
got
it No Way Home? Yeah, it's called. I keep getting mixed up with the
No
names.
Way
You know,
Home
I know
because
it's
it's far from
Homecoming, Far
home.
From Home, but No Way Home. Yeah, it's all
Exactly.
home, isn't it?
It is exactly. Listen, look, folks, we've got loads of Spider-Man news that we want to throw at you,
Mm.
and obviously we're gearing up to the whole kind of Spider-Man release, which is going to be coming out on the 15th of December. It's coming out in the UK before the US, isn't it, Deval? Is that right?
It's coming out in the well in the UK. It's coming out on the 15th. Yeah, you're right. So I'm not sure. Is there a couple of days difference or something? Or
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I think and over here, funny thing is, in Australia, it's going to be coming out around about the same time anyway. So when it's the 15th in the UK, it's going to be the 16th over here. So
Okay.
whenever you
Okay.
watch it, you know what I'll be watching. I've actually booked my
Yeah.
2 tickets. I'm watching it on the Thursday and the Friday.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm doing the same. I'm doing the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to see it a
I'm like,
couple of times before we
you got
talk
to see
about
it a
it.
couple of times, man. Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's already been booked. So folks, if you haven't booked your tickets, book them.
Mm.
And listen, look, stick around on the show. We hope you enjoy the show. It's episode 167. We've got a movie, an Amazon movie called Protege that we want to speak about. We've got a Christmas movie that we're going to be speaking about. We're going to be speaking about Hawkeye. We've got some other stuff that's new on streaming and some trailers as well. So we hope you enjoy it. But before we do any of that, Deval, how are we getting on with this prize, man?
Yeah, the prize again, guys. Look, time is running out. Yeah, we've got a free Disney Plus subscription until the 30th of April 2022. So that's Disney Plus free from now up until then. All you need to do is write us a review, and you can be getting that code. All you got to do is write the review, let us know, and then we'll send you the code. Bob's your uncle. It's as simple as that. There you go.
There you go. All right, Deval, let's do shout outs. Now, we've got
Shout
quite a few on this one. I love this. Yeah. So tell us again who we're shouting out.
quite a few shout outs. See, somebody actually exposed me this week because it was you thought I forgot in
Oh
it. It's my
yes,
birthday.
oh yeah, folks. If you listen, listeners, look, if you didn't know, Deval, he's getting on a bit. That grey
Yeah.
hair on the beard,
Yeah.
and yeah, man, it was. I got
I
to
gotta
shout
shoot
out.
that away.
I got to shout out my bro. It's his birthday, man. It's his born day. So yeah, I had to put that picture out on there, and loads of people, Deval, loads of people, like
No.
obviously they got in touch and they were wishing you like happy birthday and stuff. So yeah, man, some of these shout outs, yeah.
Definitely thank you for that. Thank you for that. Honestly, it's been a pleasure over the past nearly
Nice.
4 years now.
Fuck.
I know it's time, isn't it?
Crazy,
But the
crazy
shout
time.
outs are about you guys, not about me. So Ciel Noir. We've always said go check out her page, Ciel Noir 3. Go check out her page. She actually saw True Story and she was talking about how good it is. I
Yeah.
told her that we're going to do a review about it, and she wants to know what we talk about. So yeah, stay locked in, CL Noir 3, and let us know what you think of our review. King Solani, Miss Miss Alice O.
It's Alice.O.
Big shout out to you. Our very own Zakharov, feeling
Yeah.
much better now. So really glad to hear that. He can't wait for Spider-Man. Also, he's booked The Matrix as well. Queen Poet, go check out her on Instagram. Great
Oh, wicked
poetry.
stuff. Yeah. Great
Queen dot
content.
poet, I should say. And Natalie 24th, big shout out to you. And O'Shea PD, big shout
PD.
out to all of our people, not just
Yeah,
listeners,
man.
our people, we love you. So keep listening.
Exactly. Yeah. Just thanks for the support and like the messages and stuff. So yeah, we love that. We hope you keep listening. And remember, if there's any movie that you want us to speak about, we're more than happy to do it. And
Yep.
yeah, so, keep doing that. Right, let's check out movie news now. Deval, Ana de Armas. Remember, she's popped up in
Now.
our movie news quite a few times actually.
Yes.
And you know what? In James Bond, because obviously you saw James Bond, and I went out and saw it
Yeah.
like maybe 2-3 weeks ago. She kicks ass. She's only in it for about a good like 10-15 minutes. There's kind of like
Yeah.
this little bit of a segment where James Bond he goes to Cuba and he
Mm.
teams up with her. She kicks ass. There's this really wicked kick that she does. I wonder
Mm.
if she did that. Was that her, or do you reckon that was a stunt double?
I think it was her because from what I heard, she really got her teeth stuck into this role. She trained
Yeah.
and it was hard to do in that elegant dinner dress and heels, but
Oh
she
man.
done it. I'm sure there were obviously parts that were done by the stunt performer, but she did as much as she could. And
Yeah.
like you say, she was only in it for a little bit, but it made a massive impression because from
Yeah.
what we hear, she's actually replaced Scarlett Johansson in
Ooh.
a film called Ghosted. Now, this film is going to be on Apple. It's also going to star Chris Evans, Captain America. So just imagine that. The film was supposed to be Captain America and Black
Okay.
Widow
Black
in a
Widow.
film, exactly, an action comedy called Ghosted. And instead, Scarlett Johansson, there's conflicts in her diary. She can't do it anymore. So now Anna de Armas has filled in the spot. So this film is going to be coming out, I believe, next year from the writers of Deadpool 2. So it should be an
Mm.
interesting movie. So yeah, it's going to be quite like a bit of a, I wouldn't say like assassiny type individual, a bit like, you know what, call it like Mr. and Mrs. Smith,
Mrs. Smith. Yeah.
a bit like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, kind of in that kind of vein. Two people that are good in their jobs as spies, assassins, hit people, and yeah, action comedy. So it should be fun. Let's see what
Should be
happens with
fun.
that.
I
Mm.
reckon she's going to be good. Yeah. So be looking forward to that one. Now, now listen. Okay, Devout. Let me ask you a question. When it comes to Marvel movies or movies, do you prefer them to be long, like for them to take their time telling a
Yeah,
story, or do you want them to be like, listen, show us the goods, get it over and done with, so then we can look
bam,
forward to the
bam.
next
Thank
one?
you, ma'am. Do
Exactly.
you know
Like,
what?
where do you stand on that? Because obviously, listen, Endgame
Mm,
was a long movie,
yeah.
but did it feel like a long movie? No, it didn't.
Mm,
That that was like, for me, it wasn't. I mean, they were great length for me, kept you on your seat and kept us
yeah.
wanting more. But what do you reckon?
You know what? I do like a long movie, as long as it's good and I don't feel
Yes.
it being long. That's fine. But when it's shit, then it feels long. Even if it's an
Yeah.
hour and a half, it will feel long. So
Yeah.
I do like a mixture. I don't think it should be too long. So I think 3 hours isn't needed for every film. I think
Mm,
a good 2.5 hours, 2 hours 20 is good enough. I think
yeah.
pack it all in. You give us a bit of story, but enough
Yeah.
action.
Bit of money's worth. Yeah.
Don't overdo it. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think 2 hours
Eternals.
20, 2.5. Yeah,
Yeah. Eternals for me was maybe they could have shaved off a good 10, 15 minutes off of
yeah,
that one.
yeah.
But the news that we want to let you know of is Spider-Man. So Deval, tell us about this.
Yeah, so Spider-Man, No Way Home, No Way Home. The runtime has reportedly been said to be 2 hours and 30 minutes. That's 150 minutes.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man, they've progressively gotten longer and longer. So Homecoming was 2 hours and I want to say 10 minutes.
Right.
And then Far From Home was 2 hours and 20 odd minutes. And now we're getting a few more minutes to let us know that Spider-Man it has no way home. So I think it sort of makes sense from what we see. Doctor Strange is involved. He's
Yeah.
got all the villains from the old school movies. So there's a lot going on. So I reckon 2.5 hours should be enough. And I think people will actually enjoy every minute of it. So I'm looking
I
forward to
think
it.
so. I think so. Yeah, and I think there is obviously this big expectation about having all the Spider-Men in the movie. I think
Yeah.
they are probably going to turn up for that final battle scene so that they can
Oh,
all
yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
kick
Yeah.
ass. Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to it. And
I wonder if
apparently there's
we'll get to
two.
see. Do you reckon we'll get to see like Spider Gwen or Silk, like the Spider Lady? Do you know what? Because so far everyone's concerned about Tobey Maguire and Andrew
And
Garfield. What if
yeah,
they throw in something that they have said is going to be in the future of Spider
yeah.
Man? Do you know what could happen?
There's talk
Mm.
whether or not this is going to be good, but they're saying that the flipping could be a Venom.
Oh,
Venom could turn up in
is
it as
it?
well because
Ah,
there's two post credit scenes.
mate. Hmm. I
Ah,
can't wait for that.
man, seriously, can't wait. And listen, look, this
Mm.
feeds in nicely to this next piece of news. Now, listen, maybe a week ago, a couple of weeks ago, I read out something that Tom Holland said, and it was kind of like this bittersweet moment that he was speaking about. He was like, oh, he was looking back on these movies, great trilogy
Mm.
that he's been a part of. He started working on these movies when he was 19 years old, and he was like, whether or not he was going to get this
19,
moment again.
serious.
19
Okay.
years old, man, kid. But check this
Mm,
out. It's being confirmed. So this is confirmed, and if you go online, you can read about this. But check this out: Tom Holland is returning to Spider-Man with another trilogy of movies. So check this out.
Wow.
Amy Pascal from Sony, she's turned around and she said, "This is not the last movie that we are going to make with Marvel. This is not the last Spider-Man movie. So we're getting ready to make the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Marvel. We're thinking of this as 3 films,
Mm,
and now we're going to go on to the next 3. This is not the last of our MCU movies." So
mm,
basically, there was this talk about what's going to happen to Tom Holland. What's he going to do?
mm,
Well, he's going to be working on 3 more movies. And he's actually said he doesn't know what that looks like just yet, because obviously, how can he? Because
mm,
they got a plan for 3 more movies. But man, I reckon this could easily set up like Miles Morales. This could, like exactly what you
mm,
said, Spider Gwen. This could kind of set those things up. Um, more villains, a team up.
mm. Yeah, yeah, I think so. And there's quite a lot of young heroes now in the MCU. You've got Kate Bishop, obviously you've got
Oh,
Shuri. We're gonna have Ironheart. There's quite a lot of young ones. We're gonna have what's her name? Chavez from Doctor Strange 2.
yes.
I can't remember her name. America Chavez, is that her name?
Yeah, America
Uh,
Chavez. Yeah,
yeah, so there's going to be quite a lot of young, I think, superheroes there. So he could maybe be the leader of all these young ones because he's got the most experience.
yeah,
He's an
yeah,
Avenger,
yeah.
so mm,
Well, exactly.
mm,
And you never know. They could even turn up. They could even throw in, like obviously Venom, depending on
mm,
obviously how that world progresses. But they could have like a team up, or they could be Spider-Man versus Venom, and then they've got to work together to kind of take down another bigger villain.
yeah,
Who knows, man? It all depends, because with the whole Venom thing, they positioned him as the anti-hero. He's not bad, but he's not good. He's just somewhere in the middle, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think you're spot on with that one. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mm,
So
okay,
we'll keep you posted on that one. That's big news as well. Now, the other big news that I want to speak about is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and you're going to speak a
yeah.
little bit about that. Um, but the title, Deval, tell us about this?
Yeah, so Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse came out. Was that 2018? I want to say
Yeah,
2018. Really good animation, different type of animation
Oscar
style.
winning.
It kind of looked like a video game and cartoon at the same time. Really great characters, voice actors, everything it was almost a perfect movie.
Yeah,
And we know the sequel's coming out next year, but the sequel name is now called Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse
part one.
Part One. Exactly. So
Shit.
they're going to split this into 2 parts, I presume, but he's going across the Spider Verse. So he's going on a journey, and the Spider Verse or the universe, the multiverse, whatever verse, it's going to be a long, a
Trust me, a
long
long
journey.
journey.
It's not around the corner. So yeah, there's going to be a lot in the trailer that I've seen so far. I'll talk a little bit about that after.
Yeah.
Interesting. Mm.
All right. Yeah, we'll come to that in a bit. But I want to hear about this. George Clooney turned down 35 mil. What's
Oh
going on?
my
What's
gosh.
this?
A few weeks ago we heard about Ice Cube turning down 9 million
9 mil.
because he wouldn't get
Yeah.
vaccinated. And there's all sorts of things going on in the world. But George Clooney, in his words, he was interviewed for another film that he's involved in, but he said he turned down $35 million for 1 day's work. Yeah, this was because he was offered the chance to do a commercial. It wasn't even a film, a
What?
commercial a commercial for a Middle Eastern airline company. So you can probably
Uh-huh.
guess what that could be.
Yeah.
And he thought, let me go home and talk to my wife. So he talked to his wife. I think her name is it
Amal.
Amal or something? Yeah,
Yeah,
isn't she a
Amal.
human rights lawyer or
Human
something like
rights
that?
lawyer. Yeah, yeah,
There
yeah.
you go. So you know where this is going.
Oh
And
shit. Was it Saudi Arabia or
in the
something?
conversation, it was said that they didn't really agree with this company's human rights,
Yeah.
history,
Yeah.
and they felt it wouldn't be the right thing to do to actually, promote this airline who's
Yes.
associated with this country. So he wasn't able to take the $35 million.
5 million. Oh
Mate,
my
I will,
gosh.
I'll do any advert.
Let's turn a
Yeah.
blind eye to that, man. Seriously. Oh my gosh. But I bet you
Mate,
he wants. See, this is the thing. This is what I
but
think
he
George
wanted
Clooney.
to. I bet
I
he
bet he
wanted to
wanted
do
to, but then he looked at his wife and he's probably thinking, "Shit,
just
man,
you
she's
know
not going to let
human
me."
rights lawyer like letting her husband go up and do that just wouldn't sit well.
Because you know the reason
mate.
why that 35 mil, he's a, you know, George Clooney, he's a film director, he's a producer.
Yeah,
That would
yeah,
help him to make movies,
yeah. Because he wouldn't have to worry about the income. He could just make.
financing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like, you know,
I mean,
it'd be like, okay, I'll make a movie for 20 mil.
yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure he's not short of a few bob, but still, I
Yeah.
mean, 35 million for one day's work. Who gets
Oh
that?
man, that's
Even for a year,
incredible.
that's good. But for one day's work doing a commercial, mate, I'll do
Nah,
that.
man.
Yeah,
There you go. There's principles for
I'll
you
do
folks.
that.
Right, listen, look, that's movie news, and we're going to move on to streaming because we've got quite a few things that we want to speak about. And the big one, the one that we want to speak about is Hawkeye episode 3.
Yeah.
And the so there's a lot of shit that went on to this kind of episode. There's kind of like the big chase scene.
Mm.
There's Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. They're in the car together and they're fighting off the bad guys, and we'll kind of speak about that. But there's Echo. So the character Echo,
Mm.
the comic book character Echo, we see kind of like a bit of a backstory about her. What happens to her? What happens to her dad? And her dad was part of the tracksuit mafia, and they get taken out by
Yeah.
Ronin. So she's got a grudge. But the big thing here is Deval. Let's speak about this. Her uncle
Uncle.
is
Mm.
someone that we don't see, but a voice
Hmm.
that we hear, and we know for a fact that it's Kingpin. It
Yeah.
is Vincent D'Onofrio. And oh my gosh. So we've, you know what, we've just, that he's joined the MCU now. That's it. He's
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah. It's good to see, and it's good that they've actually just subtly, really just they put the seeds there, and they're watering those seeds every week. It's
Yes.
going to grow nice. But you're
Yes.
right, yeah. And just like in the comics, she is very much linked to the Daredevil world and the
Yeah.
Kingpin. Her powers derive from her ability to replicate what she sees, because
Yep.
she's deaf. She's able to see something and replicate that ability like a mirror image almost. So she's quite capable in her combat and so on. We haven't really seen it yet,
Yeah.
but we're going to see how she's able to, hold her own against people like Hawkeye, Daredevil, if that comes to be. Remember, she's going to have her own series as well. So whatever she's done, it's all being filmed, obviously. But whatever she's
Yeah.
done, they've had enough confidence to say, yeah, this is someone that can have their own show,
Own
which
show.
I think
Yeah.
may mean she could be like an anti-hero. We've seen her
Yes.
as a villain, but I reckon going forward, I think she could be quite conflicted, because even
Because
when
in
she
the
met,
comics,
yeah,
yeah. Sorry, all I want to say was in the comics, Kingpin is actually the one behind her dad's death, I think.
okay,
So she thinks it's Ronin, so
yeah,
that leads her on this path of,
mm,
going after Ronin. But really, I think maybe by the end of this one, she finds out that it's Kingpin, and then she
okay,
goes off and does her own thing in the new show. But
mm,
the only thing that I will say about this episode is there's this fight scene, and the, the way that Kate Bishop and Hawkeye, the way they get away, I'm like
it's too easy.
it's too easy, man. It was just, but then again, when you look at the tracksuit mafia, they're not kind of, they're not hardcore, and like they're
Yeah,
a bit
yeah,
jokey, like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
They've got guns, and they never seem to use them, and they're just a
Yeah,
bit ineffective. They just
yeah, a bit
talk too much.
wishy
They're
on that one.
jokers. So yeah, it's not really serious. But I like the on the bridge when Hawkeye uses the Hank Pym, the
The
Pym
Pim,
particle arrow.
oh
That's
man,
really funny. That's
that
really
was
funny.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's basically, so he says to her, listen, I've got all these different arrows, and
Yeah.
there's one which is like a rubbery one,
Acid.
that's some acid one. There's an acid
Yeah.
one, rubbery one, but the pin particle one, he shoots the arrow, and
Mm.
then that turns into like a giant arrow, and then
Yeah.
so that was all
Yeah.
really good. So we're halfway through this series, so we've only got 3 more episodes left. They're
Yeah.
dropping them every Wednesday, and then hopefully this is then going to lead on to Kate Bishop. Do you reckon she'll get her own thing as well after this, as taken over the
I don't
mantle?
know. I don't know. I do not know. Good question. I don't. It would be good if she did, because I think she could carry on.
Yeah,
Hawkeye seems like he wants to go home and chill with his family, so it seems
yeah,
like she's the one that should really carry on and have her own series. So maybe she could.
yeah. So
Maybe
we'll have
she
to wait
could.
and see on that one. And
Mm.
I was just trying to think, what was the other ones? Yeah, I think that was it really. There wasn't, but the big bombshell obviously was Kingpin.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll obviously probably see more of him. Maybe at the end of the end episode, we might see his
Yeah.
actual face in that one.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be really good. Look forward to that one. Now the other big one from so that was Disney Plus. This next one is called True Story on
Mm.
Netflix, And Emmanuel was the one who spoke about this maybe about a week ago or something. And I had it on
Okay.
my watch list. I saved it on there. And this one stars Kevin Hart, Wesley Snipes. And you know what, right? I wasn't expecting much, but I was like, damn, this is actually really good. Seeing Kevin Hart do the kind of dramatic stuff.
Mm.
I haven't really seen him do much of this stuff. Do you know that?
Have you not seen what's it, Other Side? The one where he's the ex-con and he helps the guy in a wheelchair. I can't remember what it's called. Is it The Other
Oh,
Side or something? Or
and that was a
it's a
remake of a French one.
remake of the Untouchables or
That's
Untouchable,
it.
the French film. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you
yeah, you're
spoke
right.
about
It
it.
doesn't do much, but yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and there was like a movie that we reviewed of his maybe a couple months ago where he plays a single dad and everything. So he has done the
Yeah.
dramatic stuff, but this one, I think is kind of like a different side to him. But you know what? I really like the premise. If this here's going to be a bit of a spoiler, by the way. So if you haven't seen it, stop
I'm
and
on episode 3, I think, at the moment.
yeah.
I thought it was a film. I went down, sat down to watch it. I was like, oh, it's a
I
series.
thought it was a film as well. I couldn't believe it. So Kevin Hart plays a comedian, and
Mm,
he is at the top of his game. He's like, he's in a comic book movie in this, right?
with Chris
It's co-
Hemsworth.
with Chris Evans.
When I
Exactly. I
saw
was just
that, I
like,
was laughing.
this is on the nose, right? Seriously. And then it's hitting a billion, like at the box office. He's doing interviews with Ellen DeGeneres and all this sort of stuff.
Mm.
And he's got a brother played by Wesley Snipes, who's he's a bit of a screw up. Kevin Hart's been looking out for him. He's been giving him money. They have like a failed restaurant business. And so Kevin Hart's doing a show in Philadelphia, and Wesley Snipes is over there, and you can see that there's tension between those two, two brothers and stuff.
Mm,
So
mm,
almost like as if Wesley Snipes is holding him back. And I'm not joking, Devout. I forget just how good Wesley Snipes is. Like, you just forget, like, this guy has been around. He's been making movies for a really long time. Obviously, Blade. He's done dramatic roles as well. But I think Wesley Snipes is really good. And it was good just to see that dynamic. But you know who was really a bit of a revelation for me? The guy
mm.
from Titanic.
Oh, Billy Zane. Yeah.
Billy Zane. He's such a creepy,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
he's looking a bit bigger. He's looking a bit more fuller, and he plays this kind of like a bit of a shady gangster and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
But I thought the dynamic, the setup, everything, the thing that happens to Kevin Hart, and he's got to get his brother's help, who then calls in Billy Zane. It just
Mm,
leads into kind of like a bit of a rabbit hole. And at the end of the first episode, I wasn't expecting that whole thing.
yeah. Crazy.
I
It's like,
wasn't
yeah,
expecting
the
that.
rabbit hole just gets deeper and deeper. When you think one issue is dealt with, another issue arises and it's a worse issue. I'm
Yeah,
enjoying it. I didn't think I'll enjoy it. I didn't know what
me
to
too.
expect. But again, CL Noir 3, she said to watch it. And yeah, it's looking like it's going to be quite good, actually. So I'm going to finish it probably today, all
Yeah,
in one day. And I'll let you know what I think when I'm fully done. But yeah,
yeah,
it's decent. It's all right.
it's
Wesley
decent.
Snipes is in good shape as well. It's like he's really leaned out and he's
He
been
doesn't
working
age,
out or
man.
something.
Do you
Yeah,
remember when
exactly.
this was a while ago? I'm not sure if you remember this, but he was going through some issues like financial issues, and
Oh, the
then
tax.
he was going through some taxes, and then he
Yeah.
got like citizenship in Nigeria, but then they kicked him
Is
out or
it?
something.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it?
So to avoid it, he got a citizenship in Nigeria, and then
Okay.
but then after a while they were like, no, we don't want him. He's
Oh
like,
my
so
gosh.
America could take him back. So, but yeah, man, he's good. He's great.
Oh
Imagine
gosh.
him being in Blade though. Imagine if they
Mm,
brought him back for
like a
Blade
cameo.
as a
Yeah.
cameo.
Could happen, I reckon it could happen.
It could happen, it could happen.
Mm,
So go check that one out. That is called True Story. Now, and the other one is the second part of Money Heist, Deval.
yep.
You know what? I still haven't seen the first parts, man. I still haven't seen the first part.
I'm not going to say much about this, but all I know is
Okay.
last night I watched it's 5 episodes of the second part of season 5. I watched 4 episodes. I got one left. This one's
Is
going to be
it?
emotional. I saved it for when I'm ready for it. I don't want to be too
Yes.
tired. It got quite late last night. I
Yeah.
want to watch it when I'm fresh, Haagen-Dazs in hand, and
Nice.
I'm gonna honestly. Charlie Jar UK, she always talks about Money Heist.
Yeah.
Yusra talks about Money Heist too. I'm gonna make sure we tag them both into this. But
Defo.
honestly, I can't wait to watch the ending. It's a sad ending, but at least they're ending on a high. The show hasn't
Yes.
gotten too shit. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. If you can watch Money Heist, watch it, finish it. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it's on there. It's good. It's good. You know what? I've had a bit of a busy week. I was watching I watched a couple of episodes of Cowboy Bebop, and I thought I wasn't gonna
You watched
like it. I
Oh,
watched it. And
yeah?
you know what? No, I'm not saying that it's good,
Yeah.
but it's not shit. It's not like, you
Okay.
know, I thought John Cho, who plays
Mm,
the guy, one of the guys in there.
yeah.
It's quirky. It's got martial
Okay.
arts. It's got loads of action in it. It's set in, like, obviously in space and everything.
Mm,
It's okay. I think it's something that you need to give it a bit of time. So that's another thing
mm.
that's out on Netflix, by the way. So yeah,
Okay.
we'll keep you posted
Okay.
on that. All right, Deval, let's do the trailer. So Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. What can you tell us about this trailer?
Yeah, it's a real quick trailer, by the way. It doesn't give you too much, but it really opens out with Miles Morales in his bedroom. He's grounded, and also he looks a bit older. I don't know if it was just me,
Mm,
but he does seem a little bit older. But he's in
yeah,
his room, chilling out. He's grounded, and then somehow Spider Gwen comes into his room. She sort of
yeah,
comes in from another multiverse or whatever, and she's kind of walking around his room, looking at his drawings. He's acting all nervous. Obviously, he fancies her, but he doesn't want to say. She sees drawings of him in his scrapbook, so there's a bit of a romantic connection there.
yeah.
They're sort of just chatting around in the room, and then she sort of jumps out and says, "Oh, like, let's just go out for a swing sort of thing." And he's like, "Oh, he can't go out because he's grounded." But then eventually he jumps out, I think, and then there's a bit of an animation sort of journey, which I think is separate to this scene. It's just a bit of something to fill the trailer, but it really just shows Miles Morales, Spider Man, sort of going through the multiverse or Spider Verse, I should say,
Yeah.
and someone's sort of following him. But it's just a bit of fun. I don't think it's actually a real scene from the movie,
Okay.
but it's
Yeah.
just to really give it a bit of a Spider Verse type imagery. But the
But
whole thing is
we
really
don't
quick.
know why he's able or how she's able to come through the multiverse,
Well, I think
because
didn't
in the last
they
one
have
it
those?
wasn't.
Did the someone had a device or something, didn't they? There was some sort of device that was sort of created to enable them to
Yeah, Kingpin.
transition. Yeah, so I'm not sure if maybe this device has been modified to go on your wrist or something now. I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. But it just looks like fun again, and the animation
Yeah,
just looks on point. And
yeah, man.
October 2022, part one's going to be released. So we've got just under a year. Next year is going to be the year when it comes to Marvel, DC, and everything in between. So
Oh man,
yeah, it's looking good.
loads of shit coming out. Keep it
It's
locked with us.
looking good.
Remember that,
Yeah,
folks.
yeah, yeah.
Um, all right, let's do. Yeah, this is great. So let's do anniversary corner now.
Yes.
We've chosen one which fits in nicely with one of the movies that we're going to be speaking about. So this is Colombiana, and
See.
this stars Zoe Saldana, and obviously if you don't know that name, I mean Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's not even Guardians of the Galaxy. She's done loads of other stuff as well. Star Trek is another big franchise that she's part
Yeah,
of,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
people have been kind of saying that when is that going to come back to the screens, and hopefully that will. But Colombiana is a 2011 movie. And it's written by Luc Besson. And the reason why
Ah,
that
Luc
is,
Besson. See,
yes,
we.
and the reason why that is
Yeah,
kind of fits in with the movie that we're going to be speaking about is because he's kind of been behind this kind of female assassin genre, I think,
yeah.
for a while.
He
Do you remember
likes
the
it.
movie that you spoke about before? And this
Anna.
movie, Anna.
Anna's a good. That came on last night on Channel 4 TV.
Yes,
That's a
and it's on
good,
Amazon.
decent film, and she's a
Yes,
model. I don't think she's really acted really before. That's a decent film, you know that?
exactly,
Decent
exactly.
film. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he kind of, I think he kind of like finds. And remember, he was the one who directed La Femme Nikita,
Ah,
a French
Nikita.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the 90s.
Fifth Element, I think, is involved in that as well.
Exactly.
Mila
Remember
Jojovic.
Leon?
Mm,
Yes, Leon. That's about
yeah,
an assassin. So he's got this kind of connection, to this kind of
yeah,
particular genre type of movies.
yeah,
And Colombiana, again, it's kind of like in the same vein.
yeah.
It's set in kind of Bogota, Colombia, in
Mm,
the 1990s, and obviously there's round the 1990s, round about that time in Colombia, there's a lot of kind of activity, like Pablo
Escobar.
Escobar, the cartels, the
Yeah,
Cali
yeah.
cartels, and everything, all that going on. So Zoe Saldana, her dad obviously is part of that world and gets, there's kind of like an incident, and Zoe Saldana is there, witnesses
Mm,
it, and crucially grows up to become the person who wants to take out the people who were responsible for her parents'
Yeah.
death. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, action set pieces, gunplay, gunfights,
Mm.
martial arts and everything. And you know what, right? It's got like six. Hang on, what is it got on IMDb? I think it's like about
6.5, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, 6.5.
6. Mm.
I think she is really good. Like she is,
Mm.
she's obviously kind of like really good at the action set pieces. She's, we've seen her in Guardians of the Galaxy. She can do all that sort of stuff. So I think if you put a gun in Zoe Saldana's hand or an action sequence, she's gonna kick it out of the park. So I remember there being like kind of a few instances where the storyline and the dialogue was kind of like a bit
Mm.
jolted and like a bit kind of skewed and stuff. But you know what? It's decent. It's a decent movie. If you're a fan of that genre, of those kind of, you've got the assassin movies, but then you've got the female assassins. So it's kind of like almost like a genre within a genre. And if you're a fan of those, yeah, I think you're gonna like it. Um, I think there was talk of like having like a sequel and a remake and stuff, but I'm not sure where it kind of like what
Mm.
happened on that one. But yeah, go check it out. I think I, I'm pretty sure if you're in the US, you can get it on Netflix.
Okay. Yeah, good. No,
Yeah,
good. Nice one. Good shout. Go check it
yeah,
out. And definitely fits in with a movie that you've seen
yes.
recently. Do you want to do that one first, or
Let me do this one first.
yeah?
So this movie is a brand new movie. It's out on Amazon, um, and it's called The Protege. And
Mm.
I mentioned Luc Besson. Luc Besson was behind La Femme Nikita,
Yeah.
which was then made into a Hollywood. They did a Hollywood version of that movie starring Bridget Fonda, but then they did a TV show called Nikita, and
Yeah.
Maggie Q.
Maggie
wa-
Q. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
she was in that one, and Maggie Q is the star of this one. So it's
Mm.
all kind of fits in with this whole kind of world that Luc Besson's kind of constructed over here. But Maggie Q,
Mm.
she plays a young. There's an earlier version of Maggie Q, a Vietnamese. She is, something terrible happens to her and her family,
Mm.
and she's found by Samuel L. Jackson, who kind of plays the shady, assassin. And Samuel L. Jackson, he takes her under his wing, he trains her up, and those two become like basically like a father and son type of a team. And they go around the world, completing missions, taking out bad people. And so the beginning of the movie is the setup of like who Maggie Q's character was, who incidentally, by the way, Deval, her name in the movie is Anna.
Ah, you see, hmm.
It
All
all
linked.
kind of like fits in, doesn't
Mm.
it? So there's a Luke Besson
All.
movie called Anna as well, and Maggie Q in this movie, she plays Anna as well. So she's John Wick style kind of skills. She kicks ass. Kills the bad guys. She has a setup in London. So this movie's filmed in Vietnam, in London,
Mm.
and kind of other places around the world. And Samuel L. Jackson is a handler and kind of this father figure. They go around doing these odd jobs and everything. And it starts off, there's one job that they do in Romania, and she's really slick. you know they think that she's weak and she's kind of like doesn't know anything, but this guy, is Maggie Q, Anna. She's like an assassin. She pulls
Yeah.
out a knife out of a mobile phone and she deals with like people. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And then um and then what propels the story is the death of um, Samuel L. Jackson. But
Oh, okay.
that's not giving anything away there. I
Okay.
haven't given
Okay.
anything away.
Okay.
So that's all I'm going to say. That then leads her off into this rabbit hole of finding out who wanted Samuel L. Jackson dead
Mm.
and the whole story behind that. And then we're introduced to a guy called Rembrandt, played by Batman, aka Michael Keaton.
Oh, he's in it. Yeah. Okay.
My, so so Maggie Q, Samuel L.
Rembrandt.
Jackson, Michael Keaton's in this. And the one thing that was kind of really strange in this, there's kind of sexual tension between Maggie Q's character and Michael Keaton's character. And I'm sorry, but I just didn't see it. I just didn't see
Mm.
it. He's
Okay.
cool, he's suave, he's sophisticated, he's like kind of like another assassin. He's kind of moody and broody and everything. But I just didn't get that she would have any kind of sexual feelings for this guy. So there's this kind of like, this weird thing that they kind of go on and they kind of do. But she basically kicks ass. She flies around the world. She takes out the bad guys. And yeah, it's much better
Mm.
than Gunpowder Milkshake. Like if I'm telling you, if I'm being
Okay.
honest, do you remember that one?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you didn't like Gunpowder Milkshake, you're gonna like this one because it's a lot better. Having said that, I still reckon Maggie Q deserves a better action movie.
Mm, okay.
There's still, I reckon she can still do one
Mm,
more. She's
yeah,
43
yeah,
years
yeah, yeah.
old. She's
Okay.
43 years old, and
Still
in
got it in
some
her, yeah.
scenes,
Mm,
maybe some of the scenes, the action scenes were a bit too much for her, and it
mm,
might show. But it's well directed. The guy who directed Casino Royale directed this
mm.
movie,
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
and Casino
That's a good
Royale, we
sign.
like that movie, man.
That's the best Bond for me. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good Bond. Mm,
So yeah, it's a really good movie. So great
mm,
actors: Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Keaton, Maggie Q. She looks great. She's amazing. She kicks
mm.
ass in it, and it kind of fits in with that whole genre. So go check it out. It's on Amazon, and let us know what you think if you watch it.
Okay, nice one. Nice one.
Yeah,
Amazon Prime, I got that, so I'll give it a watch. Thanks for
give
that.
that a watch when you can. Squeeze that one in,
Give it
and
a
people
watch.
listening, if you do watch it, let us know. What did you think? What did you make of it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Defo. Okay, so I'm gonna review this one quickly now. This one's called very much a different feel, different genre. This is called Boxing Day.
mm.
This was released just a few days ago. This is a romantic comedy, a rom com, and but don't let that put you off for people that don't like rom coms. This is actually quite a good film just in
Yeah,
itself. It's written and directed by Aml Ameen, UK. So this is a UK film, and it has a one American actress actually. So Aml Ameen stars in the film, and you also have AJ Naomi King, who was actually in How to Get Away with Murder.
How to Get
She's
Away
the
with Murder.
sister.
Yeah,
She's the sister from How to Get Away with Murder, who's with
yeah.
Asha,
Yeah.
that
Oh,
crazy
that
girl,
guy, man, is
Asha.
crazy.
No, exactly. Uh, so yeah, this is a film about uh, the main star Amal Amin's character, who is a what is he? He's like a writer or some sort.
Yeah,
He's
like a
a
film
celebrity pretty
producer in it or
much.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, some sort of writer, film producer sort of thing. No, he's a writer. Yeah, sorry. And he was with he had a relationship with someone who's actually somebody who's in the band. The what they called
Georgia.
again? Yeah, Georgia. She's from not the Saturdays. What they called them? What's the other one called again? My mind's gone blank
All I
now.
know is that when I saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, I've heard a couple of songs." Georgia Smith, is it? No, it's not Georgia Smith or something. But she's famous. She's famous
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah. She's from the name of the band will come to me, but she's a singer in real life. In
Yeah,
this film, she's a singer as well. But he used to be with her. There was a big event that happened on Boxing Day. He left the UK. He ran away
mm,
from this event that happened, and then he met his American girlfriend. They started their life together. 2 years later, he comes back to the UK for
yeah,
Christmas to see his family, and he comes back with her, having just literally proposed to her. And he's come back to see his family for the first time in 2 years. And he also bumps into his ex as well, who's now a big singer, really famous all over the world. And his current fiance loves the music of his
yeah,
ex. And they actually said, she said, "Oh, me and my fiance, we've made love to your music," and obviously her fiance knows who she is and
yeah,
willingly done that. It's like it's crazy,
yeah,
but yeah. So it's just I don't know. It's a UK film, mostly all black cast,
yeah.
and do you know what? I really enjoyed it. It was
Mm,
yeah. Some of the jokes and stuff are like they UK. His family's Jamaican.
yeah,
Obviously, his fiance is American, and his ex-girlfriend is mixed race. I think she's English and Nigerian mixed race. So there's lots of different cultures all mixing together. And when the
yeah,
family all come together for their Christmas dinner and stuff, you see all those cultures come together. The uncles are playing dominoes and stuff,
yeah,
and proper like Jamaican style, and the Nigerian uncle's there talking about stuff in his accent, and he's talking about Nigerian this and that, and he
yeah,
just got a big blend, and it's just all these little funny things happen. It's actually really like really funny.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, how's this going to work out? He's ex, he still actually likes her. He does still like her,
Oh
and he's
shit.
with his fiance who he loves as well. So there's that dynamic where he really feels for his ex, but he also obviously is with his current fiance, and he's got to somehow blend it all together, make it work.
Yeah.
Behind that, you've got other people having relationships that have got issues as well. Do you know who's in this? Stannis Baratheon is in this from Game
Because
of Thrones.
he plays the boyfriend of because he's in the trailer.
Yeah, he's the main character's mum's boyfriend. So
Boyfriend. Yeah.
there's that dynamic of interracial relationship because the
Yeah.
mum and the dad broke up, and she's now with this guy who's a white guy, and she's gonna
Yeah.
bring him into the family for the first time. They're nervous
Exactly.
about that. There's one scene that happens in this film where Stannis Baratheon is singing reggae. Oh my gosh, it is.
Is
He's
it
singing reggae. It is the funniest.
wicked?
It's funny and it's good. It's genuine. It's like
Yes.
obviously it's not. You can see he's not comfortable doing it
Yeah.
as the character, but he does it in a wicked way. And the song he chooses is wicked. Honestly, it's
Okay.
it's, a- it's a
I want
wicked
to
scene.
see this,
It's a
man.
wicked scene. Robbie
See.
G's in the film as well. It's funny
Yes.
how like you think it's going to be all mayhem, and some of it is. Don't get me wrong, but then also you get to see the positive side of how relationships that
Yeah.
are challenged can work out. It's not all going to
Defo.
be fights and all that. It can work out, and in this they show it in a nice way. So yeah, do you know what? This is a cool rom com that I do recommend watching. Even if you don't like rom coms like me, I don't really run to rom coms, but I
Yeah.
made an effort to go cinema, watch it, and we enjoyed it. So
That's
yeah,
good.
go watch Boxing Day.
Because when you put this on the show notes, I thought, oh, let me just type it in and let me see kind of
Yeah,
like, I saw the trailer, I love the trailer and everything. And then I was like, okay, I typed it in, like, where is it going to come out over here? Nothing. No,
it's
I
not.
don't
Yeah,
even think it's not going to come out over here because
it's not
I
gonna come
don't
out
think,
everywhere. No,
because obviously the UK is, it's for that audience as well. And
yeah,
it just probably wouldn't sell over here,
no. It's a
which is
shame,
a
but
shame.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'm
Like,
not
so I'm
surprised.
going to have to try and find it
Little
via.
Mix. That's where she's from. Little Mix.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay. Little Mix. Yeah. Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
Mix.
Yeah.
That's where the girlfriend, ex girlfriend, is from. Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to try. I want to try and get this. That's great then. So it fits in nicely, kind of like, with the whole
Yep.
Christmas theme and Boxing Day and everything. So that's really good. And I've got a movie. I want to try and fit this one in, Deval. I'm not going to
Yep.
spend too long on this one.
I
Try and
wanted to
get this
watch
in.
this one, man. You beat me to it, but yeah, go ahead.
Seriously, Deval. I mean, like I said before, I'm not going to say a lot. But listen, the reason so many people have mentioned this, and I've read about this movie, and I even remember this movie from 2015.
Mm,
And what caught my eye on this one? This is a movie called Tangerine, and the guy who directed this movie, he filmed it back in 2015 on an iPhone 5S.
mate.
So an iPhone 5S, he put together like this rig. He had a couple of iPhone 5s, and he used like an app that you can get. You can download it from the app store and everything. And he made this film on a budget of like about $100,000, and he uses the actors aren't. I think they're kind of like the novice actors. He like the
Mm,
main stars of this. I'm going to just basically try and, whilst I'm umming and ahhing, I'm going to try and remember their names and everything. But basically, the movie's called Tangerine. It's set in 2015, LA, on Christmas Eve. And it is the craziest film, Deval, that you watch in such a long time because it's got
wow.
so much energy. It's got so much kind of like this vibrancy. Um, and the setup is this. So Sydney has been released from prison. She's a transgender. She's a prostitute.
Mm,
She's been released from prison, and she's heard from a best friend called Alexandria, who's another transgender prostitute. She's heard from her that her pimp, right, has been cheating on her.
oh my gosh.
So the whole movie is literally Sydney traveling across the whole of Los Angeles trying to find her pimp, Chester.
Mm, mm,
And so that's one part of the story. Then the other part of this movie is the other characters. You've got this guy called Ramzik, who's a Los Angeles taxi driver. And you see his story. he picks up people in his cab. He's got to deal with drunk people. He's got to kind of like, deal with, boring conversation. He's got to take people, here and here. But he also dabbles in prostitution, but the transgender variety. And then there's this one scene in it. I've just got to quickly mention this one scene in there. He picks up this, he's curb crawling, right? So he picks up this like beautiful looking, prostitute. He's like, get in the car. And he's like, what's your name? And she's like, why do you need to know my name? Is that really important? He's like, yeah, I want to know what your name is. And she's like, okay, my name's like Selena. He's like, I want to see what you've got. And she's like, she's like, what do you mean you want to see what I've got? Put the money on the dashboard. And like, yeah. He goes, no, I want to see what you've got. And I'm laughing just thinking about this. And he starts basically undoing her, like, her pants and stuff.
Wow.
And he goes, what the hell is that? And she's like, what? He goes, what the hell is that? He goes, that's a vagina. And she's like, yeah. She goes, well, what did you expect? He goes, no. He goes, I don't want a vagina. Get the hell out of my cab. And he chucks her out. It's the funniest scene in such a long... I pissed myself laughing. It's just so funny, right? So you see the underbelly of this kind of lifestyle. It's a type of movie that you would never, ever... It's a movie that you'll never know, like, about these characters. You wouldn't see this in a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
And this guy films it with iPhone right in your face. He uses kind of like, like a bombastic soundtrack, different kind of tunes and everything. The craziness of LA, they capture that on obviously not on film, on like, on these mobile phones and everything. But yeah, man, it's a really decent movie. And it kind of, on one side, you think to yourself, man, people are nasty, people are sick. LA is fake, there's this kind of, this underbelly of all this shit going on. But then you see the kind of the human side of it, the friendship side of it as well, that people are going through, like, they live these lives, but they still feel connected to people. So, you know what? It's definitely a movie that I wouldn't have known about unless someone had told me about it.
Okay.
And just to watch it for the fact that it was made on an iPhone. But you saw a movie like that as well.
Yeah, it was called Unsane with Claire Foy and Soderbergh. Yeah, interesting. And you don't lose anything from that because the performance, the soundtrack, all add to the experience. So I don't think you lose anything from the fact that it was made on an iPhone. They can always boost the color and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm still looking forward to watching this. I need to get my 5 a day in one day somehow. So a bit of Tangerine, good for the body.
Man. Trust me, it's a movie like you're just not expecting it. I wasn't expecting this type of a movie, but yeah, man, it's really interesting. It's the colors are amazing in there, and the soundtrack's good as well. So give it time. And I'm not sure if this is the thing. I'm not sure if you can find it on streaming, so we're gonna have to kind of like dig deep for this one. Maybe use one of those vouchers, those voucher codes and stuff to find it. But yeah, folks, if you do watch it, if you do kind of catch hold of it, let us know what you think, and we'd love to know your opinion as well.
Defo, nice one. Thanks for that. Good hidden gem.
Yeah,
good
nice one.
Gem.
And I think that's it, Deval. That's all we've got time for.
Yeah, that's it for today. Like I said, write us that review. Let us know where you've posted it, and we can send you that Disney Plus voucher code for free Disney Plus until the end of April. Come on, you don't get better than that.
Do it. Until the next time, that's it. We're out.
Yeah, we're done. Peace out.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.